Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. And as we are reaching the announcement phase of roster mania, Crimsix is still finding himself in drama, even though he doesn't necessarily mean to put himself in these situations. Dashy with a few words from a couple of days ago on stream, pretty much confirming in some people's eyes this OpTic Dallas rumour we have been discussing. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoy the video, subscribe if you are new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. Everybody else on the channel, thank you very much indeed for doing that. Also, thank you very much indeed for 70,000 subscribers. Massive milestone for us here on the channel. It's been a crazy couple of weeks, honestly. Still about 50% of you guys watching this video will not yet be subscribed. If we get over that hump, 100,000 subs could be sooner rather than later. But honestly, thank you guys so much. It's been absolutely manic. Let's dive straight into things. This, of course, was the confirmation we saw yesterday. LAG, a seam slasher, Huke and Gunless. Lots of potential upside on this team. Definitely carries some risk, though, so it is an exciting team to watch nonetheless. This I thought was kind of funny from Chino, of course, who has kind of been replaced, I guess, over the Los Angeles Guerrillas team. You know, he says, can't beat me, so you gotta take my spot at slasher. Gotta respect it, you are a clown, bro. Of course, they did team very briefly last year on OpTic going Los Angeles, as Chino's kind of hinting at in the replies, where they came second at one of the home series to Atlanta FaZe. So, well, still, maybe that's a combination we could see in the future, but not for now, I imagine. But, well, speaking of potential announcements, this comes out from Cloud9. So, the 8th of September, that being, of course, tomorrow, 2021, some sort of announcement is happening. They go on to say in the replies, PSA, this is not related to Call of Duty. So, I guess, well, we cancel it's a triple negative. We cancel out one of the double negatives. It just becomes not related to Call of Duty. Please do not E-United us, they say. So, of course, E-United, they did this Halo announcement. They were teasing the entire Call of Duty scene. People weren't particularly happy about that one. So, maybe Cloud9 are saying, okay, yeah, please, it's not Call of Duty related. Please don't get in our way. But at the same time, maybe this is all a bait all along. They actually are coming into Call of Duty after all. But, you know, even if they are coming into COD, I kind of doubt that they would announce it this soon because, you know, I don't know, maybe they want to have some sort of team prepared or whatever if they are going to buy out the spots. Maybe the discussions are still ongoing. There's no real reason they would have to get a, you know, buy out the Chicago spot now, or if they want to take it to another city, right? That's a big question mark as well. So I kind of doubt that any COD announcement would happen this early, but still, who really knows? Like, there is that Chicago spot up for grabs that NRG own if this OpTic Dallas thing goes through. There's also the Paris spot that nobody really knows what's going on there. So it's still something to keep your eyes on, but I wouldn't hold your breath for a Call of Duty announcements here. But they've certainly been teasing their return to Call of Duty at some point or another. So maybe an announcement in a month or so's time. Could be Cloud9 returning to Call of Duty. This from Quavo Kevo Jr., I imagine related to Kenny in some way or another. Thought this was kind of interesting from Envoy and Kenny, where I imagine they were teaming together way back in the day on Team Justice. And you can see right here, this is before, I guess, Kenny went to Halo for a little bit and Envoy kind of did his own thing for a couple of years. You can see them playing Advanced Warfare, it seems in the background here actually, before they turned 18 and could actually compete in the proper league again. But yes, Envoy and Kenny did team with each other back in the day. And of course, could be a duo that syncs up again. The roster rumor right now for Los Angeles Thieves is Kenny, Octane, Drazah, and Envoy joining that squad. So maybe this is another hint that indeed will be confirmed over these coming days. Certainly something to keep your eyes on. So anyway, this I thought was pretty exciting from Crimsix, right? New profile picture. Am I kind of chilling right here as the Thor thing? But yeah, of course, Crimsix has been in some drama these last several days. We saw this discussion coming out on stream a couple of days ago with Zuma saying to Scump that, like, you know, he's heading off to Hawaii from Crimsix's wedding, and Scump's invite kind of disappeared. And then also going on to say that ILLey and Shotzzy's invites seem to also have got lost in the mail. And well, this came out on the Reddit at the time when there was some discussion like, you know, I doubt that ILLey and Shotzzy both wanted to drop him. Crimsix comes out with the LOL, so it was somewhat unclear exactly what was going on there. And then people were speculating that the friendship was kind of over between those, you know, the trio of those guys, which hopefully isn't the case, right? Because Crimsix seem to get along really well with ILLey especially, and hopefully they're still boys to some degree. But the whole wedding question is an interesting one. And it does, you know, blow my mind how like open these pros are a lot of the time to talk about this type of stuff compared to, you know, other scenes and regular sports and stuff like this. But this is Crimsix's explanation he comes out with yesterday. I didn't revoke their wedding invites, that being ILLey and Shotzzy. They just did not want to come. I never once got confirmation from anyone on the team throughout the year. Only a bunch of maybe. So I guess like Rambo as well and stuff like that. Kind of interesting. It's not a big deal to me and us. I guess he means Dana is his wife to be. So do not waste your time speculating on it. In terms of roster related discussions, figuring out the 2022 team situation is priority. I haven't been alright by this move in the slightest. Despite how I seemed on the flank the other day, I've been quiet on socials because I've been handling my anger, frustrations, and the BS I've been led to believe in my own way. At the end of 2019, that's after he got dropped off OpTic Gaming right at the time, going into franchising for Modern Warfare when he joined, of course, Dallas Empire. I agree I was a bit petty, and this move wasn't as bad as that. I agree I wasn't the best teammate last year, but the same could have been said for every single person on that team in their own way. We all could have been a better version of ourselves. Just sucks when you're the one paying the price for it, but that is is just the way it goes sometimes, it seems. So Crimsix being very honest and open here, so great to see that. Great to see the self-reflection as well from Crimsix, right? Because, like, at the end of the day, like, if teams don't go the way they could have done, like, it's probably the fault to some degree of every individual on the team couldn't have been, well, they could have been a better version of themselves, as Crimsix is describing. So maybe that's a learning experience, and maybe going into next year, Crimsix can get better as a result of this, and not only be a better player, but a better teammate. And, well, obviously, that could be very useful for this New York Subliner squad that's going to require a fair bit of leadership. So this is what Crimsix, of course, has to say. But the other side of things is this whole Dashy stuff, right? So we saw a few days ago on the flank that Crimsix was talking about in that explanation right there of what's going on with the whole ILLey Shotzzy type situation. But he was talking about Dashy, right? Or, well, at least he was hinting that he was talking about Dashy. That, well, he was the number 2 time waster in the league, getting replaced by the number 1 time torture in the league for scrims and stuff like this. Now, of course, we know that Crimsix and Dashy kind of had a fractious relationship, let's just say, when they were teaming together on that 2019 OpTic Gaming squad through Black Ops 4. And, well, Dashy is certainly indicating on stream a couple of days ago now that, well, he was the one that Crimsix was referring to. Of course, when Crimsix said he's getting replaced by the biggest torturer in the league, the rumor had it at the time that Crimsix was leaving Dallas Empire and was getting replaced effectively by Scump and Dashy coming over from OpTic and kind of forming that God Squad merger that seems to still be the case. So if that is the case, Crimsix being an assault rifle player for Dallas and, of course, Dashy being an assault rifle player for OpTic, seems like that probably would make sense in terms of who Crimsix feels like he's being replaced by. And Dashy goes out and straight up says it on stream that he, well, pretty much does believe that Crimsix was referring to him when he talks about the number 1 time torture, and kind of taking the mick out of Crimsix in the way he described things, but also taking the mick a little bit out of BenJ Nassim and how he discussed the situation.
Just don't know, they're playing the number 1 torture in the league.
Well, you know.
I gotta goes to another game, and he does the same thing, and, you know, it's just, bad trait.
Well, you know, it's a different game, and, you know, he's still torturing.
Well,
and,
you know, it's a different game.
It goes to show his qualities as a teammate are still the same in different games. And, well, you know, they just want a cohesive unit.
Well, you know, it's not a coincidence here, Tom. I mean, like, you know, but again, you're the same person, so...
So, of course, a very exciting team this could potentially be. Scump, Dashy, Shotzzy, and ILLey. But, yeah, I mean, if in effect, Dashy seems to have confirmed this might be the case, right? Because if he is taking what Crimsix said at face value, that he is the number 1 time torture, then that would make sense, right, from Dashy's perspective, that Dashy is effectively replacing Crimsix on that squad, and this could well be the team of OpTic, Dallas, Scump, Dashy, Shotzzy, and ILLey. What I do wonder, I think it's a really interesting question about this team, is what could have happened if things had gone different at the World Championship? Let's say Dallas won champs. Like, this merger might have been in the works for quite a while now, because, of course, for financial reasons, it seems to make sense for OpTic to go down that route, and FaZe to go down that route, at least what we've heard the last couple of weeks. But, you know, who knows, right? If they'd have won the World Championship, Dallas, like, would Crimsix still be here instead of Dashy? Would it just be Scump in that team instead of Vivid? Maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. Like, what if OpTic won champs, right? Would Envoy still be here? Would Envoy have gone anyway, right? Because you could have argued that it's going to be Scump and Shotzzy, regardless of how well Envoy plays at champs. And then, of course, you know, Formal as well, right? If they'd have won champs, does Formal stick around? Is ILLey still here? Like, is there a world where Crimsix was still in this squad if things went differently? It's very tough to say. But if the World Championship didn't go the way it did for these squads, we could be seeing a different team looking at right here. This I thought was also kind of crazy that, well, Lassie points out right here on the Reddit, that 3 years ago, even going into Black Ops 4, like going into 2019 effectively, there was discussions from, well, Crimsix saying, look, he's going to get dropped by ILLey at some point or another. Yeah, I'm going to get dropped from OpTic when, of course, well, it happens sooner than that. But when ILLey turns 18 and I get dropped, won't even be mad. Kid is a beast. He won't give me his DPI though. So you're thinking a couple of years later now that, well, Crimsix having won a world championship with ILLey in Modern Warfare is now effectively getting dropped while ILLey remains on this team. And, you know, he takes that kind of OpTic Dallas mantle, at least as it seems right now. So kind of a crazy prediction here really from Crimsix, even though it didn't quite work out as he might have thought that it would have done. This also the Lion Man card from ILLey over the course of the season. I think that people obviously, you know, they look read too much into the stats in general and stuff like this. The Search and Destroy always does kind of surprise me, right? Because ILLey, known as like such a great Search and Destroy star, kind of surprising that statistically his worst game mode. But still, I think that ILLey was very effective the last couple of stages of the season. Stage 4, Stage 5, he really came into his own. And this record 28 and 19 is way better than some other players that have much better stats, right? So obviously there's something to look at right here. This number in the top right-hand corner rather than the numbers down in the bottom left. But obviously he is going to be a crucial piece of that OpTic Dallas team if it does get confirmed. Wanted to talk about this as well because this was pretty heartwarming, I thought, from Crimsix. We saw quite a while ago that he lent Parasite a PC PC for the, the Challengers World Championship and stuff like that. And you can see this image here on the right-hand side. It seems like the case has kind of warped away from the motherboard somewhat. And I think Crimsix saw this initially, and this was his reaction. I lent Haggy my streaming PC for his teammate for Amateur Champs. Must have hammered in transport or to and from, but I immediately got super pissed at him upon seeing that image, right, with the motherboard kind of warping away. Then I thought about how it was a genuine mistake at worst. It could have even been my doing. Fact of the matter is, my brain jumped to the trend of blame and hate on Haggy, as this kind of been, the case for Call of Duty history, I guess, and I was legitimately disgusted in myself. Was helping a long-time friend out when he was in need, and if this PC's motherboard is KIA's, then so be it. Most people in this community would roast Haggy over this due to his reputation. Screw that. Mistakes happen, and maybe y'all can start treating him equally and with respect. Tired of seeing the slander people give him, this man needs a turning point coming from not only himself, but from you guys in the community as well. He is who he is, and none of you can sit there and judge the effort he puts in and day out. I thought that was pretty heartwarming, and yeah, just nice to see that between these two guys. I just wanted to mention this as well, given we were talking about OpTic Dallas today. There's lots of work to do in the off-season. This is a tweet I kind of saw right when the World Championship ended, and I wondered when I would talk about it. Now seems like kind of an appropriate time, right, with Hex indicating at the time on the 21st of August, lots of work to do in the off-season. Certainly does seem that has indeed very much been the case. But very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. It really helps out these you are going to know you enjoy this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well. And I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you much as always. Take care. And I will see you next time.